It is a well-known trope to begin a Dungeons & Dragons game in a tavern. And it makes sense. Taverns are public gathering places. They're usually a neutral area where it's safe for players to meet. The problem is they can be very boring. The best stories all have strong beginnings. In Dungeons & Dragons, there's a thing called the adventure hook, which is the part of the game that is supposed to grab the player's attention and get them invested into the adventure at hand. You can put a hook in the game even when they meet in a tavern after you have the tavern pleasantries, and the hook can even involve the tavern itself. Say, for example, the tavern erupts into flames, and the players find themselves as the only people in a position to douse the flames and pursue the culprit. The hook to any adventure can be placed anywhere in the beginning, no matter where the player characters are when the game starts. But to make the beginning memorable, it ought to be the lure that leads to the hook, and not just the place where the players were when the hook happened. Adventuring lore is a term I am coining now, and it basically refers to everything that leads up to the hook at the beginning of the game. This is what replaces the tavern. And one thing I've noticed about a lot of Dungeons & Dragons published adventure modules is that many of them don't start in a tavern. And the Dungeon Master's Guide even gives some suggestions on how to run the beginnings of a game that involves dungeons. One of the suggestions is that the players are walking along and literally fall into the dungeon where the adventure is supposed to take place. In this case, the lure is falling into the dungeon. The hook is then finding themselves in the dungeon, realizing now we have to clear this place out because we can't go back to the way we came in. In Lost Mines of Phandelver, the players find themselves on the road already doing a job for a friend that has gone ahead of them. The module recommends that during this time the players can have a little bit of roleplay going on, they can chat with each other. This is a great time to introduce characters, and once that's through, they very soon thereafter come across a couple of dead horses in the road, and they realize that those dead horses belong to their friend. The lure in this case is them being on the job to deliver these goods to the town. That compels them forward on the road. The hook to the adventure is finding the horses dead and realizing that their friend is now in danger and they have to go save him. It's a fantastic beginning, and there's no tavern involved. So why begin the adventure in the dungeon and not in a tavern? Well, starting the game in an abrupt manner like this puts the players right in the center of the action immediately. It gives the players a feeling that this is their moment, the time to be the heroes they imagined they would be when they made their characters. It subverts cliché tropes and keeps your games fresh and interesting. Your players are going to always enjoy your games because they know they can expect the unexpected. And it enhances the storytelling of the game because it provides a strong beginning that the players will not soon forget.